Welcome to EntreProgrammers Podcast, the podcast for developreneurs, with your hosts, Josh Earl, Derick Bailey, and John Sonmez, the podcast where you get to be a fly on the wall listening to real conversations of three developers trying to tackle the challenges they face as entrepreneurs.
Hey, John Sonmez here, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor for our podcast, Signalleaf. Without Signalleaf, we wouldn't have a place to host our podcast, and as you know, Signalleaf is actually from one of our own here at EntreProgrammers. It is the creation of Derick Bailey. So Derick is actually the owner and creator of Signalleaf, and it's a podcast hosting service. So if you are interested in creating your own podcast, go on over to Signalleaf.com and sign up for an account today and check out how easy it is to get started. The thing I really like about Signalleaf is just how easy it makes it for hosting your podcast. Of course, I have my own podcast, Get Up and Code, that I host at Signalleaf, and I've been very happy with it. We're hosting EntreProgrammers there as well, and so thank you again, Signalleaf, for sponsoring this show. And don't forget to check out Signalleaf at Signalleaf.com if you're interested in starting your own podcast.
All right, we're on it.
Derick, I think I'm going to think that your shirt says bacon the entire time we're talking today. Yeah.
Almost. It's Balcones Whiskey. It's a whiskey distillery here in Waco.
Bacon.
Yes, bacon distillery. No, they're a world-class distillery, actually. They've won all kinds of awards around the world in the last couple of years. And it's ridiculously difficult to find their stuff. And we just cannot find it. Their distillery is here in Waco, like 5 miles from my house. And 2 weeks ago, I ordered 6 bottles of their whiskey from Buffalo, New York. And had Buffalo, New York ship it to me here in Waco. Can't find it here in Waco.
Wow. Nice.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Pretty awful. But it's good stuff. If you ever get a chance to try it, do.
How are you guys doing?
I might fall asleep here.
I've been sick all week. It's not been fun.
Oh, man.
I did some work on Monday on Signalleaf, and then Tuesday I slept for 4 hours and watched a movie. Wednesday, I slept for 4 hours and watched a movie. Thursday, I slept for 3 hours and watched Naruto. And then today, I'm finally feeling well enough to actually get some work done again.
Did you just get the reporting stuff done for Signalleaf this morning then?
Some of that was over the weekend. So it actually started last week. While we were on this call last week, I tried looking at the reports. And I wanted to see some specific information about how our podcast is doing. And the reports that came up were awful. So I started improving last week. I got a couple of quick improvements done last week, and then spent part of Sunday and Monday fixing some RSS issues so that the podcast RSS will be better supported in standard RSS readers, including Feedly and other things. And then today I started working on the reports again, allowing it to select an actual date range for the reports instead of just giving you only 1 week and 30 days.
Nice.
So now you can say this week, last week, this month, last month, this year, last year.
Nice.
And then for the top 10 episodes, you also have an all-time.
Can you also specify date ranges, like or specific days, or just?
No, I don't have that in there yet. That'll be pretty easy to add, but I wanted to get these done and out the door sooner rather than waiting for me to finish that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, the other one that I always like is I really like the Google Analytics compare timeframes, like the overlap.
Right.
So, not that I'm a customer or anything.
No, but that'd be good because I often go back and look at last month, look at this month, look at last month, look at this month.
Yeah, the 2 browser tab thing, or
Right. I do that with Watch Me Code, for example, comparing income from last month to this month.
WordPress has a good way of reporting too. Like I don't know if you've ever seen, if you go into the WordPress, the stats, like if you've got the Jetpack installed, and then you go into the summary report, it's got like number of page views you've had for every day. Like it's got, and then it's got a week, and it's got a month, and then it like shows you a total for the year, and then you can see the numbers, so you can quickly compare, and then it shows you the average per day, like for every. I think it's based on every week, or no, it might be for every month. Average per day for every month. And then so you can really detect the trends, like the uptrends, and see where you're going over a long
Nice.
Great.
Sweet.
We'll have to look at that and get some ideas from that.
Yeah, so have you gotten a lot of requests for reporting related stuff, Derick? Is that a real pain
No,
point?
it's been a personal pain point.
Mm-hmm.
I've known for a long time that the reports were terrible. They were okay. You know, most people don't really look at the reports that much, but when you do look at them, you want to be able to get to the information you want. And one of the things that sparked this, of course, was me not liking the reports last week. But another thing was that podcast that I helped move over to another service. The guy had a question. The podcaster had a question for the other service, but he accidentally emailed me instead.
Oh.
and in the email, he said something like, "P.S. I love the reports here."
Oh. Burn.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So he accidentally emailed their service and told them how much he loved their reports. Accidentally emailed me instead of them and told me how much he loved their reports. So I was like, okay.
Like copying your ex-girlfriend accidentally.
Exactly.
Yes, you have
Oh,
That's
man.
exactly what I was thinking when you said that.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. So that was part of getting onto this as well. And it's something I know I've known I needed to fix for a long time. And there's at least a couple of more reports that I want to add to this. Like about a month ago, I started tracking geolocation stuff. So every time I add an entry to the tracking, I get the person or the IP addresses, basic geographic location down to the city. And so it'll give me, city, state, country, continent, I think. And so I need to find a way to turn that information into a map to show people on the screen. I'm thinking I might start just by showing the aggregate by country, state, city, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe just by country to start with, and just show it in a text format,
Mm-hmm.
and then figure out the actual map at a later time. I know how to actually do a map. I've used maps actually wrote a bunch of demos using the Country UI map stuff, so I can do it. It's just getting the data aggregated appropriately is going to be a challenge.
I found MailChimp's, that was one thing I did like about the MailChimp reports that you'd get after each email. You'd be able to see, you could see the country. Like the map, I don't know, the map is pretty, but to me, I preferred the grid view. I found that to be more digestible.
Okay.
But it is kind of nice to see both, with the countries kind of weighted by color.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got demo code to do exactly that. It's just up on the Country UI DataViz or GeoViz demo for their map stuff. But the way that they do it in that demo, the colors are hard coded into the GeoJSON file. So I would need to do a correlation between the GeoJSON and the data file, which is doable, but it's going to take some work.
Cool. What else? After the reporting, like what else do you have? What else are you working on?
My next big thing is I want to, of course, I need to fix the pricing plan. I need to put I need to start listing in the pricing plans some, not limits, but I don't know a better word to say.
Mm-hmm.
So like people with the $10 a month plan will get, a couple of thousand downloads a month, and people with the $20 a month plan will get, 5,000 or 6,000 or whatever it is. I need to go do the actual calculations and start advertising it that way. The interesting thing I'm going to do with it, I'm not actually going to put a hard limit. I'm not going to shut down a podcast if it goes over that limit. Mm-hmm. I'm going to set it up so that it will email me if you're going over your limit, and I can track. I'll be able to track through my administrative reports how many times a month or however often you're going over that limit. Mm-hmm. And if you go over, if you have one incredibly successful podcast that gets 5,000 or 6,000 downloads, and then you go back down to your normal, 300 or 400 per episode, I don't really care. That's not a big deal.
Right.
It's when I see the growing trend,
right,
that I'm going to have to start contacting the person sooner rather than later, and talk about getting them switched to a plan that would support that amount of traffic.
I've seen a lot of companies use an overage model.
Right.
So just start, I kind of like your softer policy there, but it might also be nice to at some point automate it so that it becomes self-regulating.
Right. But doing it the manual way at first is going to be faster turnaround.
Right.
And then once I've gone through this enough, I'll be able to see how I want to automate it a little easier.
Yep.
So there's that. And then on top of that, I have an idea for simplifying the user onboarding story. Right now, if you want to sign up, you pretty much have to pay now, and you got to fill out all this information, and you got to start uploading things, otherwise you're just wasting money. And so I'm thinking to simplify the user onboard process, I want to set it up so that the only thing you have to enter, there will be two things you need to enter to start an account and get rolling, and that's your podcast name and your email address. And from there, you'll be able to start uploading episodes. Upload as much as you want, be able to get everything in place, but not have a live podcast until you actually pay the $20 or $10 or whatever it's going to be that you want to do for your monthly plan.
So it's like a demo. I like that. It's like a trial, but it's like, I always hate that when I can't. Like I talked about this in the email this week, but on our lists, I hate when a company wants you to pay them $100 for their software, and they won't let you look inside.
Right.
And see how it works. At least see a sandbox version or something.
Right.
So I really like that. At least you can kind of log in, look around, see if you like the UI. If it feels like it's going to work for you, then you commit.
Exactly. And it'll be a nice happy middle ground in between the trial version that I did previously and the pay me now version that I have right now. Because honestly, it doesn't cost me hardly anything to add somebody to an account and allow them to upload files. File storage is next to nothing. It's when you start actually serving the episodes that it starts costing me a lot of money. So that's what I figure, if I can just get people in the door, what's your podcast name, what's your email address, all right, let's start uploading episodes.
Right.
And give you personally the ability to listen to one of the episodes that you just uploaded. Not make it available publicly, but since you're logged in, you'll be able to listen to it. Then
that's awesome. Like, I was looking through the packet of stuff that you sent over.
Right.
And I think the headline of the start a podcast in 3 minutes, something along those lines.
Right.
That was really compelling. And if you can fix that onboarding process to where that's actually realistic, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I think streamlining that process will go a long way, and it'll let people actually use the system a little bit before they commit to a price range. So there's those two things, and then the third thing is somebody a couple of weeks ago had asked me what are the advanced reports that I would get with the higher dollar package? And I realized that I didn't have any place to actually show them the difference between the basic reports and the advanced reports. So I need to get those differences documented. And I'm thinking about making like the EntreProgrammers reports publicly available or something so that people can see and play with it. Or I'll figure out something to let people see what the advanced reports are, basically.
Maybe we could crowdsource the EntreProgrammers, and just make the whole account open.
Right?
Just guest, the login, username guest, login, password guests, and people can upload episodes for us. And
that sounds like a really bad idea.
Delete episode.
I don't know. I think we'd probably get less hate than we got this week over the sound quality.
Yeah, that's probably true. But
what happened with that? I noticed you guys had mentioned that before, but I didn't see any of those comments coming through. And then all of a sudden this week I got 2 emails from people posting comments on that episode saying they had to quit listening, and maybe I just got the emails late. So you guys got those a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Well, yeah. For some reason,
I've got both you and John set up as moderators, so you should be getting all of the emails whenever somebody comments.
No, I got 2 of them yesterday for whatever reason.
I just check it. I don't think I'm seeing the emails, but I usually check each episode to see what comments there are. Was it the last episode or the one before? I know we had.
It was the one where Derick was in the cafe. And
right.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, okay.
Maybe I don't have the discuss settings correct. I know you guys are both moderators, but I might not have it set up to email both of you.
They looked like they came from WordPress. It didn't look
really?
They didn't look like they were. They looked like WordPress comments, not discuss comments. So I'm not sure. Maybe somebody found a way to post.
Maybe I'll have to dig into this further.
Yeah.
I've had that happen a couple of times where discuss would suddenly not be working.
Yeah.
Looks like it's doing that now.
It just stops working.
Yeah, it just gets disabled.
Nice.
I'm seeing discuss working on the site now, but I don't know. I have seen discuss get disabled when it gets updated.
I've heard of stories of the Discuss plugin will go through your site sometimes and just automatically insert affiliate links. It'll dynamically parse the page and just link things up for you. It's so helpful.
Yeah, that's a setting that you can change in Discuss.
But it's turned on by default, I think.
Yeah, I think it is, but I go through all of my Discuss profiles and I turn off all that extra stuff. It's actually, if you don't care about affiliate link junk in your comments, it's a pretty good way to earn some extra money if you have a popular blog. I earned a few bucks off of that when I was doing Los Techies, but I disabled it when they started inserting some pretty shady stuff into the comments. And I don't think it's their fault. It's the people that are buying the ads through their system that are causing the problems. Yeah. So I disable all that stuff every time. And okay, I just now I found that Discuss was disabled.
Oh, okay.
Nice. The plugin itself was disabled?
Yeah, the plugin itself was disabled. That's weird. I don't know why that happens.
Wow.
It's
enabled now. So
we should probably change that admin username and password away from guests.
Probably.
No. That's going to be definitely tried now.
Yeah. I just
monitor the logins.
I just invited hacking. Yeah, hacking. Did I tell you guys about the when I was doing my contest that somebody was trying to hack my admin account on my WordPress site?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened the first day. I was totally freaked out.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome because spending all that time and effort is so much better than spending $60.
No, just because Josh is such an a-hole for giving away, for requiring someone's email address to give away something, so he deserves to be hacked.
Exactly.
Cool.
Well, so that's pretty much my week. Other than the Signalleaf stuff, which I'm super happy to be working on again finally. actually made it a priority and started doing stuff on it. Other than that, I was sick all week, so I don't have a whole lot to report.
Nice. Well, I had some fun stuff happen this week. So I had my so I'd given up. I told you guys about that huge write-up I did about the my contest, and it came to about 5,500 words, and it took me like probably 10 to 20 hours to put together, including all the screenshots and everything.
Right.
And I had emailed it to Pat Flynn to take a look at it, and I was hoping to get it as a guest post on his blog, and I saw that he looked at the link. I used a pretty link, like a trackable link, so I could tell that he clicked it. So, which is only justice because I learned about Pretty Link from him. So,
right.
Live by the sword. So I could tell that he looked at it, and then I didn't hear anything for like 8 or 9 days, and I thought, okay, he just wasn't interested. And then he emails me on Sunday night, like apologizing it took him so long to get back to me, and saying he wanted to run it. So
nice.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yep, I'm really excited. That's going to be going out on Tuesday. So actually, probably the same day this hits the hits the airwaves.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens. And he was cool with me leaving in the affiliate offer for Noah's plugin for the Consumo thing. So that could be a nice little windfall right there. I have people. What I'm doing is having people sign up for my email list to get it. So I link them to a landing page specifically for the plugin, and then that feeds into my regular email list. But then I've got a nice little drip automation rule set up to send people the plugin, the discount code, and the link to the plugin.
Nice.
So yeah, drip made that pretty easy to set up. I'm pretty happy with it. For me, it actually is I think it's going to probably eliminate the need for lead pages. It's definitely a little bit more work to set up, but I can do like lead pages. The main thing for me that I liked about it was the ability to do the custom giveaways.
Right.
With Drip, you can just spin up a separate campaign, and when people subscribe to that campaign, you send them one email. Campaign completes, you move them off that list and onto your main list, and then it's like a one and done kind of sequence.
Right.
And it works. Yeah, it works pretty well. So we'll see how that goes. That I'm trying to keep my expectations in check for that, because it could be anywhere from like a few $100 to literally like thousands upon thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat Flynn makes like $60,000 a month from Bluehost, or I think maybe like 40, just from his Bluehost affiliate stuff.
Right.
And he's got like something like 4 million page views a month. So it'll definitely get some attention. I mean, at least at a very bare minimum, I've got a nice backlink, and I'll probably pick up a few hundred email subscribers.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking you'd probably get like somewhere around 100 to 200,000 page views on it, like from his audience or subscribers. So
yeah. So it should be. I think it should be a pretty. I mean, it's a meaty post, so it should be. I think it should be popular with his audience because it's like a very in-depth case study. And I've got like the full how-to walkthrough of like basically everything I did and everything I learned from it. So seems like it should be right up their alley.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. So that was pretty freaking exciting.
Yeah.
So glad I decided to. I was questioning whether I'd made a mistake on that because I invested a lot of time. Like somebody pinged me. I think it was No, it was a guy that interviewed me on his podcast, Paul. Paul pinged me on Twitter to let me know that that Pat was doing his own giveaways with the King Sumo giveaways plugin. So I was like, okay, I have to get my post out there now before Pat does his. Before he does the canonical post on King Sumo giveaways, and then I'm screwed. So then I realized I could hijack him. Now that he knows what's going on, how this thing works, I can hijack his audience, and so we'll see. It'll be an interesting report next week. See what happens. So that was pretty cool. Derick, thanks for the email this week, or for the redesign of the email thing this week. So we'll see what happens. I'm not expecting. I'm just very baffled by the low click-through rate on.
I can almost guarantee you'll have at least double the click-through rate
I could see that.
I mean, the way that your email was written, it honestly looked like prose, and it looked like I was expected to read the prose and follow those links for more information about whatever that sentence was on.
Yeah,
it did not look like a link list where I want to go and view these articles or tutorials or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try that this week. I have to write. Probably tomorrow. I'm gonna write up the newsletter. I've got got a ton of good stuff to put in it this week, and so I think I'm just gonna actually skip. In the past, I've done the kind of like a tip at the top, like the a few paragraphs at the top of text. I think I'm gonna skip that completely and just go with straight links for this one. Just to because I just want to get people. I want to get people used to seeing good links, and I think the new format that you put together. Well, the only thing that worries me about that format is I don't have time to test it on a bunch of different email clients.
Right.
And that could be a problem. Like I could end up getting a bunch of hate for like.
It's all super basic HTML.
Yeah, I know.
There was nothing special in there.
Yeah, but the CSS, like using CSS in an email at all is pretty dicey. Like.
Well, the only reason there was CSS in there is because the Markdown preview tool that I use is defaulted to make it look like GitHub.
Right.
But if you just drop all of that CSS, it would still look great.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to take a look at that. I liked the styling on it. It looked really, really nice.
Throw it in MailChimp and you can test it for the multiple browser.
Oh, really?
Email. Yeah. There's like I forget what it's called. There's a button on there. That basically lets it'll automatically generate it in all the different browser and, combinations, and then you can look at it.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that then. That's a good little hack. But yeah, so I want to just kind of train people that to expect good links in the emails from me, because the open rate on that was awesome. It was over 50%. Let me check my drip report here real quick. And just see if that's crept up at all. But yeah, that's about what I was expecting. I was thinking that since this list was like a called down list from the bigger list, so I figured I'd get pretty good open rate on it. So I just need to get people used to clicking stuff in them now.
Right.
So yes, pulling up the report. Oh yeah, look at that, 53% open rate. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I was just expecting something between 10 and 25% for click-throughs, and I got 5.
Right.
So, yeah, it's still holding at 5.
Yeah, it's my total number of people that have signed up for the Mastering JavaScript This has actually gone up a few. Continues to increase a couple a day. It's now sitting at 85.
Okay. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. On a mailing list of 76,000 people, I got 85 subscribers.
It's 73, but yeah. Yep.
Still.
Yeah, got to work on that.
But what number are you really looking for? I mean, 1% is too high. Like, it can't be. That's way too high.
Is it?
Yeah, that's way too high. Just
why is that way too high?
Because
I don't know. Like I've seen like well, okay, so on my old list, I was seeing 20% click-throughs, right? So 73,000. We're doing this on the fly. What could possibly go wrong? That's almost 15,000 clicks. So 1% of if only 1% of those converted, that would be 150. That would be more than almost twice what we got so far. So
I actually had 274 people hit the site, hit the page. So what's that?
That's a pretty good conversion rate.
74 divided by 73,123. That's 1/3%.
Yeah.
Out of what? And not out of how many clicked it, though, right? I mean, or how many clicks there.
That's out of the overall mailing list.
Yeah, from the overall mailing list.
It's not going to get a lot better than that. I mean, just think about it. It's like this. Okay, you got 75,000 people. Less than half of them are going to open the email. I mean, some people will quote open the email, but less than half of them are going to read the email, right? So that's going to get your number in half. And then of the ones that read it, right, it's essentially an ad within the email, right? I mean, so like, how many times do you click an ad in an email?
But consider Peter Cooper's mailing list, for example.
Yeah, he gets well over 1,000 clicks on his ads, and he's got like 40. I think for JavaScript Weekly, I don't know. It's like around 50,000, maybe 60.
I think it's over 60 now. It's like 65. Okay.
Well, but you don't know if he's culling his list. Like, he might be kicking people off his list pretty so that he has that tight number.
I actually don't think he is. He tweeted about that about 6 months to a year ago. Mm-hmm. He asked on Twitter, should I clean up my mailing list in order to get better click-through rates? And the overwhelming response was, no, don't do it. And right. So he, at the time, at least, he said, all right, I'm not going to clean my list out.
Yeah.
Even still, I mean, what does his list is about comparable size. It's more directly targeted. What you said, he gets about 1,000 clicks.
Just on the ads.
Well over 1,000. Oh, and just on the ads.
Yeah, but you got 200 and something on the ad, right?
Right.
So, and you only have one ad in there.
Right.
Yep.
If you had like 5 ads in there, then you might have. I'm not saying you'd have 1,000, but it might be 700, 800, which would be close enough. I mean, I just don't think with one ad in that email, like I don't think I think the performance could be improved, but I don't think it's going to be more than doubled. Like double is probably, it's not shockingly bad. The list is not horrible. What I'm saying is like the conclusion to draw from this is not, dang, I have this worthless list of 75,000 people. I don't think that's a true conclusion. Right. I mean, if you're getting 50% open rate, it's a pretty good, even if the effectiveness, is not as high as Peter Cooper's list, it's nothing less than 50% effectiveness is what I would say. Like,
right.
That's a fair point. Yeah. Yep. And we'll see if playing with the template helps at all.
Right. So, yep. And so if you look at the percentage of people that clicked, so if you had a 5% click-through rate, and of those people that clicked on a link, 274 of them went to my page. Well, that's 7.5% of the 5%.
Right, which is actually exactly what we saw. It's amazing to me how quickly these averages emerge and how well they hold. Because when I looked at MailChimp, so I sent out the email last week on Friday because the drip team hadn't gotten all my contacts imported in time. Right. I think there's just one guy there named Andy, because every time I email support@drip.com, I get an email back from Andy. So poor guy. He answered like 10 emails from me.
I actually think there's 2 people. There's 3 people, because there's Rob, there's Andy, and there's one other person. I can't remember their name.
I know there's 2 developers for sure, right. But I wonder if they're also doing support. Holy cow! If they are, I'm so sorry.
No, there actually is a support person.
Okay.
I talked with the support person once, and that person forwarded me to the developers.
I gotcha. Okay. So
I think you're one of the cases where they just automatically escalate you to a developer.
This guy's insane. He wants to import 75,000 contacts.
Right.
Please help him. Yeah. So I had emailed them. Well, no, sorry. They hadn't quite gotten my list all imported yet. So I sent out the lists. I sent out the emails to I think it was about 85,000 contacts through MailChimp, and these were the folks that hadn't opened any emails at all from me. And so the open rate was horrible. The open rate was like 5% on that email, but your click-through rate on the ad was 8% of the total clicks.
Yep.
It was exactly the same as. Yeah, exactly the same as what we saw when it went out to the bigger, the more responsive list. Like, it's amazing. And that 8% was emerged almost immediately after I sent the email. It said 8% like an hour later, and that's where it held.
Right.
So there's a reason possibly for that as well, which is the open rate doesn't report 100% accurately.
Right.
So you probably have on that dead list actually alive people.
True.
Like,
yeah.
But you can pull them if they click, I guess,
well,
off
MailChimp,
of the dead list.
Yeah, MailChimp looks at clicks as well, and they factor that. Like when you do your 3-star, when they do the star rating for the subscribers, they look at clicks as well as opens. So if there were any clicks, so if somebody opened the email but didn't click, and then later they open another one and click, they'll get picked up. So that's what I'm going to continue to send to that list. MailChimp has also another black mark in my book. I was so mad. So I logged into my bank account this week, and I looked at, and I was like, whoa, $750 from MailChimp. What in the world? I already paid this. So I paid them like $750 when I imported the huge list initially, and I have since deleted more than half of that list. But they don't look at your list total when billing date rolls around. They look at the high watermark from the last 30 days.
Yep.
And so I got billed again for 160 some thousand contacts, even though I only have 72 in there now or whatever, like a much smaller number.
I can kind of understand that though, because you could potentially game the system if you didn't do it that way.
But no, because the only thing they pay for. The only thing they pay for is email sends, really.
Right.
So I can't send email to those people. I just paid for a whole month of emails that I can't send.
It's a highly profitable racket.
Just email them. Just email them. Just email them. They'll probably.
I talked to their support. Yeah, I should probably go to the billing folks and.
Yes.
I mean, but it's like it's I don't know, like it's in my. I guess it's such a large amount of money for me, but. It is in my terms of service, so I'm kind of like, I agreed to this when I clicked that checkbox I never read.
There was a video that I saw. I can't remember who it was. It was one of the marketing guys that we pay attention to. Had an email, blog post, video, basically saying ask for 10% off. Just next time you go somewhere, ask for 10% off.
Yeah.
And it showed a video of a guy walking up to some random coffee shop and ordering a coffee and saying, hey, could I get 10% off? And after a little bit of talking back and forth, the guy got 10% off.
That's actually Noah's thing.
Noah Kagan.
Yep.
That's right.
Tim Ferriss posted it last week, I think.
Yep.
Right. So the whole point is don't say no for MailChimp.
Yeah, you're
Ask
right.
MailChimp and let them say no.
Yeah. And use the word fraud.
Yeah,
right. Email.
Because
it's a little bit.
It's like,
it's a little bit fraudulent.
5-point bold
if
font
you sneak
fraud.
it into the terms, if you sneak into the terms of service, that's kind of messed up as well. So like that's it. Just because you've agreed to it doesn't mean that you've agreed to it. Like you have to have a conscious decision. And even if it went to again, not a lawyer, but if I were a lawyer, then I would then I would strongly fight it in court and say. Just because you put it in your terms of service doesn't mean that people read it. And if someone hasn't if there hasn't been a meeting of the minds where people have actually consciously consented and agreed, then it doesn't mean crap. I think there's
a lot of precedent against that, though. There's been enough lawsuits around those kinds of things where if you say I agree, then it is assumed in the court that you have actually read and understand.
No way. It's like if I get a piece of paper and I have you sign your name to it, and then you haven't read the contract, it doesn't hold up. There's no, it doesn't. It absolutely holds up to no degree at all because you can easily just trick someone into signing a piece of paper.
If you can prove that somebody tricked you into signing it, that's one thing. But you sitting down, having the piece of paper in front of you, and signing it of your own free will, that's your problem.
Oh yeah. If you know what you're signing, you have to know what you're signing.
If you know that this is a contract, if you know that you are signing a terms of service.
No. Even if that's why you'll see real estate agents when you sign a offer, they explain to you every point in there because they know that if you claim ignorance, which is easy to claim with the legal jargon that it won't. Anyway, my point is not that the legal arguments about it, but basically, like, if someone tells you something in the terms of service and you don't, you're not going to read all the terms of service. It's not, you can't be defrauded just because, or frauded just because someone snuck some clause into it.
Well, that's certainly true, but there's a difference between somebody putting something illegal in the terms of service and you signing okay on the terms of service.
I don't think
what MailChimp is doing is not illegal. It might suck. It might be mildly unethical, but there's probably good reason for them doing it that way, and there's a lot of precedence with other companies for them doing it this way. Still, all that being said, email them and ask them. Say, hey, look, exactly. I had this giant list. I'm never going to be able to send to this many people. I even had them unsubscribed prior to the billing date and prior to me sending an email. Can you refund some of the charges? And chances are, there's a small chance they'll say okay and refund it to you. Chances are they'll say sorry, we can't do anything about it. But let them make that determination. Don't make it for them.
Yeah, you're right. I will do that.
John, by the way, your video is all black.
He keeps going in and out. Yeah. Whenever you come up on my screen, you come up black, and then I can see the picture when you're. Yeah.
That's weird. It should be okay because I'm recording on my end. Let me switch. Did that help at all?
Now I just see.
Now I just see an icon of you.
Okay. I'm seeing my camera, but
okay.
I mean it's recording on this side. It's recording everything. So, but that's what. I get blacked out when I give legal advice.
Nice, I love it.
Exactly.
It's Google protecting itself.
Right. Yeah. As soon as you said, "I am not a lawyer," I'm waiting for my picture to go black now.
So MailChimp definitely. I'm annoyed because that's expensive, and then I'm gonna probably get screwed again because. This month I haven't deleted that list yet.
Right.
And so I'm probably going to have to pay for, even if I were to delete it tomorrow, I'd probably still have to pay for another $300 or so bucks for that.
Oh,
so
switch your plan to the pay by email plan.
There's a pay by email plan?
In fact, retroactively switch it. When you email MailChimp support, say, oops, I forgot to switch my account over to the pay by email. Because you only sent one email, right? So you would have only paid like $100 or $200 or something like that, whatever it ends up being, I think.
Okay,
so,
I'm gonna definitely do that. Yeah, you're right. The pay per use or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, pay as you go. I didn't even know they had a pay as you go.
Yeah, I did, but I assumed it would be prohibitively expensive. I didn't even look at the pricing for my level. It might be.
It would have cost you the same $750.
Okay. Yeah. Usually, I figured that usually that stuff is when you get up to a higher volume, it can get pretty expensive.
Yeah. 75,000 credits. One email is one credit, and 75,000 credits is $750.
Oh. Okay. Well, but it'll at least let you keep people on the email list without getting billed monthly if you're not sending them emails, and then you can switch it over to the other. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll probably send one more email. I think I'll send next week's email with to this list, and just to try to resuscitate a few more people. I did get about 3,500 new people. So even if I end up paying, for 3 months of service when I really only wanted one with MailChimp, it still comes to, a nice little ROI in terms of if I had to get these subscribers by advertising. So
right.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. It's just frustrating. But yeah, so, and then what else? So Rob Drip has been awesome.
That's been pretty awesome.
Yeah. So the way that went down for me was I originally was planning on doing I looked at Drip, and then I didn't think it had everything I needed, and then Craig Mikichi, who's going to be, I guess, joining us next week, it sounds like, He'd emailed me and encouraged me to check it out again because he'd been looking at it recently and it looked like it had more of the stuff that I wanted.
Right.
So then I emailed Rob and asked him a couple questions about it, and then we've been kind of going back and forth. And I just gave him my big laundry list of all the little things that I wished it had, and they've got they have 2 full-time developers, and they're cranking on features. It sounds like.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
he tweeted at you and I like 3 or 4 days ago.
Yep.
And said, hey, we're getting on the unsubscribe from broadcasts, and then we have plans for the RSS to email as well. And then like yesterday, he emails me and says, hey, we're prioritizing RSS to email. We're going to start doing that pretty soon. How are you actually using it? And so I told him how I'm doing it with MailChimp right now, and he listed out the things that they were thinking about doing. And so I sent him a fair amount of feedback on what I'm doing with it now, how I would imagine the thing working in their system. Of course, me not being part of their team, I have no clue. Just providing feedback to him, and he was thankful for the feedback and said a few things that sound really interesting about the way that they're going to be implementing this feature in conjunction with other changes that they're making in the system. And I don't really want to say anything since this is being recorded, and I don't know how much he wants out there. But it sounds like there's some really cool changes coming down the line in Drip, and I'm definitely looking to migrate from MailChimp over to Drip sometime soon. As soon as I can get these last couple of things, as soon as they get these last couple of things in place, I'm going to start looking into that more thoroughly and start getting things moved over there.
Yeah, I mean, he shared some of the stuff that they're like, just sort of their some of the things that they have coming up with me too, and it's pretty cool to like compare this to MailChimp, where I complained to MailChimp. I think I talked about it on this podcast a while back, but I could not see how many subscribers I had gotten and how many subscribers I had lost in the last week. And so their solution was to go in and manually create a segment, which is like a query. I have to go into my list, and then I have to build this by hand with the clicky UI, and I would pick the start and end dates, and then I would pick, I could pick, like, there was some other thing I had to do to get the unsubscribed. So I could find all the unsubscribes of the segment, then I could find all the subscribers and do the math myself. And this would take me like 20 minutes. Seriously, would take me 20 minutes a week to do this. And so that was their solution.
Right. It's so weird. I don't understand MailChimp. Like, I guess they fixed the automation thing, but like the other thing that pisses me off with MailChimp is when there's a holiday, like when you log in, it says, I'm like, it has this message that says like, oh, some of our staff won't be here, or we might not respond to you because it's a holiday. We just want to let you know, happy. And I'm like, you're a business. I don't give a crap if your employees work 24 hours a day and you feed them under a door or some spam. Like, as long as you're sending my emails, like, and if I have a problem, like, how you think that I'm gonna like read that and be like, oh, that's so kind of you. So I definitely want to do business with a company that treats their employees well. I don't give a shit if you treat your employees well. I don't care if there's a snowstorm.
I don't care if John is stuck in a hurricane. He's going to be on this damn podcast.
But yeah, I just don't get that.
Yeah, I don't either. Every time I see that message, it drives me nuts. I mean, I loved MailChimp for what it allowed me to do and getting my mailing list off the ground. And if you don't need anything more than just a mailing list that you just send random emails to every now and then MailChimp is still great for that. And I guess with their new automation stuff, they're getting into that realm, so you can start doing some marketing automation stuff. But there's just so many little things that drive me crazy about MailChimp, and Drip just keeps getting better and better and better all the time.
Really fast.
Yes, really fast.
Yeah, I might have to look again. I signed up for Drip a long time ago, and it only had the very basic feature. There was no automation really. Like it just lets you. And so I was like, I can't really use this, but now maybe I can switch back over.
Yeah, I mean, when I signed up for it, they only had the drip campaigns as well, but that's the whole reason I signed up for it, because it was so painful to do that in MailChimp. Yep. Drip made it really stinking easy to actually do a drip campaign. So and they just keep getting better.
Yep. Yeah, and most of the stuff that I had on my wish list is either already prioritized or Rob's interested in learning more. So, really excited about that. And he told us. Well, it's like oh gosh, what did I say on the podcast? Because he's like, I was listening to the podcast and I heard la 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 la. I was like, oh no.
That's funny.
Like, oh crap! Don't say anything bad.
Maybe we can get some advanced protection money from him so that we don't turn them into an anti-sponsor.
Oh yeah.
See
if you'd like to sign up as
an anti-sponsor, and Drip will be our next actual sponsor or first actual sponsor.
Yeah. So that was cool. What else happened this week? So I've been actually. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that would line up well for a sponsor for us actually. Like, if you wanted to advertise on the show and actually
that would
come on the show and talk about Drip, because I think that's something that that's a cool, something that you actually use and you agree with, and
right.
So very very relevant to our audience as well.
Yep. Yeah, because he's actually building this. I mean, it's pretty cool because he's literally it's like we're watching him build this extremely fast.
Right.
This is going to be. I mean, he said on a podcast that he didn't actually want to go into this space. Like the marketing automation thing was too. It's a really big app to build. That is a lot of complicated software to put together, but people kept asking for it.
Yeah, so, I think that was it. He wrote about that in a blog post as well, on his personal blog, I think, and it was talking about how they sat down and had planned a month of work to get their marketing automation features in place, and it took 5 months, but they were releasing features and capabilities every couple of weeks as they were building out the entire thing, and it's turned into just a phenomenal little system.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how the customer churn started dropping after the first release of the automation stuff, and they started growing revenue again for every single release of the automation pieces.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch too, Agile kind of from the outside.
Right.
I've never been on that. I've always, pretty much bought into stuff that was already fully formed. But this is amazing because, it's sometimes it's a little irritating because okay, we can't delete subscribers right now. There's no way to delete subscribers, but they're working on it, and it's almost like that, almost like getting the upgrade to an iOS upgrade every week or every 2 weeks. It's I can't wait till this feature. It's an interesting little continuity thing. We look forward to the new features. So not to say it's not lacking really in its current form, but it's it's cool to see stuff get added. So so the other cool thing for me this week has been so I a while back, I think I'd mentioned I took the that marketing DNA survey that came along with the 80/20 book from Perry Marshall, and I took it and I read it through, and I kind of was like, oh, that's interesting, and then I filed it, and then recently I don't know what it was, but something kind of prompted me to go back and take another look at it. So this week I've been actually studying the results of that, and it's actually really nailed me, and it's made me realize some things about myself that have helped me a lot in terms of figuring out where I want to go. And Derick, actually, that's what prompted me to contact you about the AdWords stuff.
Yeah.
Because I realized that some of the stuff that I've been trying to do hasn't necessarily been a great fit for me. One of the things that comes out in the survey is that I am somebody who would rather be kind of the guy behind the scenes rather than the front man.
Right.
And that is so true. Like I would much rather, like, the most satisfying work I've ever done has been was actually my first couple of jobs where I was publishing publishing a magazine, a print magazine. And I liked getting my writing out there, and I there's a little ego thing. I like to see my name in print and stuff, and hear people talk about my articles. But like getting that whole thing put together and coordinating the efforts of multiple people and making everybody's work shine, like that was the most satisfying work that I've ever done. And I haven't really been pursuing that. I've been kind of trying to go it on my own, and but I would just as soon help. I would be more interested in helping Derick get Signalleaf, growing than I would be creating my own products.
Right.
Like, I don't have this drive to create my own products, per se. Like, I'm really interested in marketing stuff, and I don't really care if it's my stuff or somebody else's stuff, as long as it's good and I believe in it.
Yep.
So yeah, this survey, you guys haven't done it. I'd recommend doing it. It's like 10 minutes. Took like 10 minutes, and it seems kind of silly. It's like one of those Myers-Briggs kind of things, but it really, for me, it was really, really helpful. And it confirmed a lot of stuff. Like, I know I'm not good in high pressure situations, where I have to think on my feet. So, working with something like AdWords versus trying to write a sales page, like with a sales page, it's kind of like this big push. You're kind of working blind, and then it's almost a little bit more like a performance.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with AdWords, you can kind of just analyze things and feel your way forward, and that tends to be how I tend to work. I get really blocked if you'd ask me to like do a big performance of some kind like that. I just totally shut down. And I'm not a super creative person. I see myself like I analyze things and find pieces that will work together. And that's, I'm more of a kind of a technician or a problem solver versus like somebody who's going to come up with something really creative on the fly.
Right.
So I've been kind of studying that and doing a lot of thinking about it this week, and it's really helped me kind of put things in perspective a little bit. So nice. Recommended. Yep.
So, well, I'm excited because I get somebody finally doing marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a hard time sleeping last night, so I emailed Derick last night at 9:30 last night about, we've talked about me helping Derick do AdWords and try to start to drive some traffic for Signalleaf before, and then I don't know, if it didn't really seem that interesting. I don't know why. I mean, I was kind of interested. I didn't really feel qualified. I'm not sure exactly why I didn't jump on it at the time, but going through the survey and realizing that AdWords plays to all of my strengths really well, right. And this is something that I could potentially be really, really good at.
All of the analytics that you do already, all of the tracking, all of that stuff that you're doing all of the things that I know I need to do, but I hate doing.
Yeah, and that's stuff like
this is, how could this team not work?
Yeah, that stuff really is how I process things. It's just it just comes naturally.
Right. I mean, I like having that data too. It's nice to have it, but I just for some reason I can't force myself to get it set up properly because it just constantly frustrates me because I never seem to get it right. Yeah.
So I don't know what I was going to say, but
anyways.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about working on this with you, though. I think this will be a lot of fun.
Waiting to see my first credit card bill of $5,000.
No, we're going to start off very slow.
Yes.
And I think that you can control. I'd like to not have the ability to push the spend money button.
Right.
And figure out how to configure that so that you approve. You have to approve stuff. So I don't set that $5,000 budget for one day. But yeah, like I was this morning, I spent a little time looking at doing some analyzing the ads that are out there, and one thing I realized is that for the kind of the big keywords that we'll probably want to look at first, like podcast hosting, it seems like most of the ads that are showing are actually for hosting, not podcast hosting.
Right.
Which could actually work really nicely in our benefit, because if they're just targeting general hosting and our ad is more relevant, then that could make things a little cheaper for us.
I was playing with AdWords last month a little bit.
Yeah.
And I managed to get my ads in the top 2 slots pretty consistently. Like my average position was like 1.7 for most of my ads. So it's not an insurmountable thing.
Yeah.
I think there's enough of a 8,000-pound gorilla problem with podcast hosting right now that not a lot of people spend money on advertising.
Even the big guys don't spend any money.
Yeah, everybody knows the big guys. Everybody knows who they are because they're the big guys and because everybody talks about them all the time.
I didn't see any ads this morning for any of the bigger hosts that I was expecting to see ads for. So it looked like there was one startup type of company that was running ads.
There's 4 or 5 others that I've seen ads for, but it's been pretty rare that I see ads for the big ones.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty promising. So I think if we can get a couple decent ads going, that we can start to get some nice steady traffic. And the click rates that you were seeing, your click rates were not, or your price per click was not that high.
Right, wasn't that bad.
No, I mean it was like and under $1 in most cases, and that was with a really low click-through rate. So
yeah,
if you can get that up to 2, 3, 4%, that rate would go way down.
Yeah, I was hovering between like 0.5 and 0.8 click-through rate.
Yep. So, so I'm pretty excited about this.
So in a lot of the materials I've read about AdWords, the landing page that you send people to has a lot to do with the cost of the ads and the click-through rates that you get.
Well, it's I think from what I understand, the landing page goes into the quality score, which is a factor in the cost.
Okay.
I don't think it'll affect the click-through rate itself.
Okay.
Because that's like basically just you and the user, and
the
placement basically. It affects the placement, but
so whatever changes we need to do on the actual landing page that I set up.
Well, I think I would like to focus on getting. They're coming to take John away.
Awesome.
This is what you get for impersonating a lawyer, John.
That's right. You can't do that in Hawaii, man. Come on.
Yeah. Where was I? So. So
making
I think,
changes to the landing
for the landing page, I think I would that landing page I think works for now, and I feel like I don't have enough data to tell you that this is wrong or that is wrong. So I think that's where we have to get to do some A/B testing once we get. If we can get a few hundred clicks a week going to that page, we'll be able to test something in every couple weeks, and then start to iterate a little faster. But I think
and if we can get a few hundred clicks a week going to that page, I can get some of these other changes that I talked about earlier for the onboard process in place.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm excited.
I am too.
But so the AdWords thing is interesting to me too, because it's like, so for me the product stuff has been really hard to scale because I just don't have the time right now. And like Craig, I was talking to Craig Mikichi, and he said it took him, I don't know if he has a full-time job or not, but it took him 8 months to put his package together that he's selling, and it looks really, really good. And John, it took you more than 3 months of full-time work to get your package together. And so I just had a really hard time figuring out how to take 15 hours a week and then figure out how to make a product and sell it, and make upsells and sell those and track everything. And so focusing on AdWords and maybe doing some consulting with that is actually really, really exciting. And I've been reading this Perry Marshall AdWords book, and I thought I was originally just going to read it because I bought it, and I was like, oh, but the more I'm reading it, like,
good book.
It's a really good book, and I'm really geeking out on it. Like I'm really enjoying this, the approach that you can take with AdWords. Yeah. And like everything that frustrated me about Twitter, like the lack of trackability and how hard it was to keep, like, you can't with Twitter ads, you can't, there's no longevity to them. Like as soon as they get stale, I mean, Twitter makes them stale on purpose. And so you can't really test and optimize. You can kind of get a general feel for what works, but sometimes, like, it can be with AdWords, like I've seen tests where people took one headline and they put a comma. It was like 2 words, comma, 2 words, and then same 2 words, no comma, and then the other 2 words, and it was like a 50% click-through increase, without the comma. So, with Twitter, there's those types of things too, but you can't get to that level of minutia to kind of optimize things because they put their thumb on the scale and like basically expire your ads after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm pretty jazzed up about this.
Yeah.
I will be spending a lot of time on it this weekend, I think.
Yay!
I've been reading through the that packet that is it Momoko? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Momoko.
Momoko. That is really, really useful. It's like 100 pages of gold.
It really is a gold mine. So if anybody's interested in a content strategist, copy-cat.co, copy-cat.co.
Oh man,
you
put a dash
Momoko Price. And
she had to put a dash in there and go with.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She really does amazing work. She's the one that did my sales page for my ebook, for the Backbone Plugins ebook, and launched that to like 4 sales a day for 4 months. And then she did copywriting for copywriters from Joanna Weeb, I think. Mm-hmm. And she did that class, and in the process of doing that class, she had to pick a case study to do, and she picked Signalleaf because she knew that at the time I was wanting her to work on Signalleaf anyways. So it worked out really well for both of us. She got the real-world project to actually do the market research on and do customer interviews and all that, and then I got the benefit of the marketing material, which is now sitting in Josh's hands.
Yeah, she did a great job. It was like she did several, like she did some surveying, and then she did several customer interviews and looked at competitors and looked at your stuff, and it was very thorough. So lots to work with here.
Right.
Really, I don't think there's a lot of reason to do a lot more research, at least for quite a while.
Yeah, not for a while.
Here.
Not until we get through all of the information in that package.
Yep. So, yeah, I think I'm trying to think if there's anything else interesting for me this week.
What about John?
Yeah. See, well, I got the final reviews on my book, and those came off pretty good. I think it was mostly mostly 4 and 5 stars. So
very nice.
So that means that I have to do some work now.
Right.
I've got to make a few changes to the book. So probably next couple of days I'll be working on that, and then I'll submit the final. My deadline to submit the final version of the book is September 11th.
Right.
And then the publish date is tentatively set for December 10th, so it'll be
nice. Do you know about ebook and Kindle and stuff? Is that going to go to Kindle at the same time, or is it not going to go to Kindle? Or
Manning doesn't do Kindle.
Okay. Do they do their own ebooks?
They do ebooks through their website, but they don't do through Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. So the print will be through Amazon.
That makes sense. Yeah, because that makes a lot of sense, because Amazon would scalp you if you sold that for $29.95 or whatever.
You'd make like $1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the MEEP will be going out I forgot what the date is, but in a week or 2, I think. So
nice.
They did decide to do a MEEP. So I'm okay with that. That'll be all right. So it's only going to be the first 5 or 10 chapters for the MEEP. So
okay.
And then by that time the full release will
That's how my 2-year-old says meat. So I'm getting really confused right now. 2-week-old meat. That doesn't sound great to me.
But yeah, so that's I just got to get that finished, and then I'll be glad to get that done with. I think what else went on. Sales have really just slowed down.
Yeah, mine too.
Nothing.
I've started to pick up subscriptions on Watch Me Code again.
Cool.
So for the longest time...
I'm taking credit for those, Derick.
Yes.
It's my newsletter ad, dang it.
That's right. Because all of my subscribers are coming through the Dev Hell podcast and JS Jabber, so it must have been you, Josh.
Yes, totally.
Yes, but for the longest time, for the first half of the month, August 1st through August 16th, I had 6 new subscribers, and between the 16th and today, which is the 22nd when we are recording this, I've had 9 new subscribers. So
Nice.
That's good. Yeah.
huge improvement in number of new subscribers in the last couple of weeks here. And I'm hoping. I was thinking about getting back onto sponsorships with Watch Me Code again after August, probably September, maybe late September timeframe. And I'm actually considering doing a sponsorship of Ruby Rogues instead of JS Jabber, specifically because I think there's going to be a lot of people doing Ruby development that need more of the intro and mid-level JavaScript stuff that I have on the site right now. And
Nice.
I think more of the people coming from JS Jabber are already going to be the mid-level to advanced people that wouldn't get as much out of the site. I mean, the JS Jabber sponsorship has by far been the most successful sponsorship that I've had, but I think I might even be able to do better with Ruby Rogues.
That's a very good point.
We got to get Charles on here too. I keep on forgetting.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be fun.
Because it'd be interesting to have him dissect his business model and talk about
Right.
like how he makes money and what, So
Yeah, especially with his podcast network.
yeah,
I know he does some client work, but I don't think it's very much. I think he's more focused on his products and services now.
yeah.
Yeah, he's done a nice job transitioning away. Because I haven't listened to his stuff in a long time just due to lack of time. But a year and a half ago, he was almost all service-based, I think.
Right.
Yep.
And that's been pretty cool to see.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else really going on. Not too much. I'm gonna go. I've got that. I got invited to another conference at the same time as that conference in Malmo, Sweden. The ORDEF, like they're having a conference the day before,
Right.
in Copenhagen. So I'll be talking at that one.
Oh, nice.
Man, I love Copenhagen.
It's right across the. It's basically like it's right across the river or ocean from Malmo. So there's like a train that goes across, like a 45-minute train.
Yeah. When I was in Copenhagen last January, a couple of the guys that I was hanging out with, they went over to Malmo for a day. I didn't go with them at the time because I didn't think I was going to have that much time in Copenhagen. Of course, it turned out that my flight got delayed by a day, so I had an extra day. But whatever.
It's kind of funny because across that train, like everything in Sweden is illegal, everything in Copenhagen is legal.
Right. It's pretty crazy.
So at
Do
some
whatever
point
you
on
want
that
in Copenhagen,
train,
but don't bring that into Sweden.
yeah. Nice.
Copenhagen is such an awesome city, though. If you have an extra day or two to hang out in Copenhagen, definitely do it. Get a tourist map, as horrible as it sounds, and go see all of the old buildings, the castles and the armory and the treasury and all the touristy stuff. It's so beautiful. And see the Little Mermaid statue, too. The real Little Mermaid statue. It's pretty awesome.
I'll be there from the 2nd to the 9th. I gave myself like an extra couple of days, so.
Yeah. It's a wonderful city to walk around. Just don't expect to drive or take the train or anything. Just walk everywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy some warm clothes because it's in November.
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, when I was there in January and it was like -5 Celsius, which
Yeah.
like 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit or something.
Yeah. So so I'm trying to think. So I think that's basically what's going on. And I read a book that you guys might be interested in called The Alchemist.
I've heard of that. I have heard of it.
It's a short book. It's like 150, 160 pages or something. So I read it pretty quickly, but it's I don't know. It's like it's one of those what is that book that I always I'm trying to think of how to describe it because it's a little bit weird. It's a story about this boy from Spain who goes to like Egypt on a quest for his like personal legend, and and he discovers along the way like it's almost like a follow your passion or follow your dreams book, but it's kind of inspiring. I think it's I liked it. I thought it was good. So
is that by Paulo Coelho?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely worth a read. But yep, I think that's about it. I'm trying to not do too much. I've got to send an email out today. I forgot about that, and then one of my blog posts took off on the how to negotiate your salary. That one.
Oh, nice.
So.
Yeah, that looked pretty good.
So that's it for me. I'm just trying to avoid big 8 to 12-inch centipedes here too. So
nice. Oh man,
there's some monster centipedes. It's great.
Yes.
Do they get inside?
They can. That's
Yeah.
That's
don't like to think about it.
Let it crawl across your arm, go to the hospital for a week while it burns through your skin, and then come back with a really wicked tattoo.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it kind of sounds like we're wrapping things up here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Actually, in centipedes don't. It's not. Millipedes will burn through your skin like crawling on you. Right. Centipedes actually will bite you with huge venomous legs that basically leave.
I wish we'd wrap this up when I said. Oh my gosh, that's horrifying.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right,
Thank you for convincing me to never go visit that part of Hawaii.
It's actually everywhere in Hawaii. So.
Yeah, Honolulu's not so bad. I mean, there's some big bugs there, but not that bad.
Derick, you guys have black widows down there, right?
Oh yes, I am absolutely terrified of spiders. The only good spider is one that is 1,000 miles away from me, and Texas is infested with spiders. And I had a family of black widow spiders in my garage a number of years ago. I bought a 2-gallon bottle of whatever the spray was to kill spiders and bugs and stuff. Used the entire damn bottle on that little nest. I mean, I just sat there spraying for like half an hour. It just...
Oh, man.
Spiders freak me out. I don't care what kind of spider it is. It just... I smash them. I get very violent when I see spiders.
We've had
anything I can and smash.
We've had some really bad ground bee issues up here. A couple... Like, we had one year I had a golf ball-sized hole out by one of the trees in our front yard that was like just swarming with ground bees, and those suckers are hard to kill because they burrow deep. And I emptied a whole can of Raid into that thing, and it didn't faze them. So what I figured out though, like I was actually thinking about product ideas. I was actually thinking about like I had this product idea called the bee bomb, where you could just kind of, it was like, a pesticide, but, like a grenade type of thing that you could throw. Because I didn't want to get too close to it. But what I ended up doing to actually solve the problem was I got powdered, the powdered stuff.
Yep.
The powdered 7, or I think it was called. And I took a shovel and I just scooped a big lump of this stuff onto the shovel, and then boom, just dropped it onto the hole. Right. And they like freaked out and ran everywhere. But then they dragged it into the hole
Yeah.
Over and over and over again, and it killed all of them. They never came back. And I did the same thing at a retaining wall. We have a brick retaining wall, and they burrowed down into that thing, and it was the same deal. And I just threw a big glop of the powder up against the wall right by the hole, and they were all gone in like a couple days. So
nice.
That was the only thing I found that worked. But yeah, like with the retaining wall, I rigged up a contraption to basically, push I had like a can of Raid, and I locked it in place like right in front of the hole. And then I rigged up a contraption to push the button remotely. Basically, like I just ran, I just ran, I tripped this thing, and it was like it emptied the whole can into the hole, but it just wasn't enough. They still, like you get like 10 of them, they come out and they're like flailing around on the ground, and you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more resilient than that. So.
Yeah, we along with spiders, we got some pretty nasty wasps and giant red ants, fire ants around here. So I'm constantly fighting wasps and fire ants, and those don't bother me. I've had literally 100 ant bites on my arms and legs because I'd be digging something up in the yard to put down. I think I was putting bricks around one of our trees, and I dug right into an anthill.
Oh,
shoveling, just get the ants out of the way, and they end up crawling and biting the crap out of me, and it sucks, and they blister, but I'm not scared of ants. I'm not scared of wasps. I'm not scared of snakes. We have snakes that crawl into our house every now and then. Little gray garden snakes. They're like a foot long, and they're adorable. I like them. we have chameleons or salamanders. One of those two. It's either a chameleon or a salamander family that lives in our garage. And I love those little lizards. They're adorable for one, but better yet, they eat spiders.
Oh.
So it's
probably
like,
the snakes
yes,
do too. Actually,
please, let me. Look, can I get you something? You want some food? I'll put some water out. Like, please.
You need to host a
podcast.
By
yes. I love those little lizards because they eat spiders. So thank you, little lizards.
Yeah, and centipedes kill small mammals and eat them.
Oh my god! And probably children. Oh gosh.
Yes, and children.
Oh man.
So.
Wow.
I had never heard of ground bees though. That's interesting. Like I kind of knew they existed, but I just read the yellow jackets can have ground nests as well. Which is, that's
we have yellow jackets and mud daubers and hornets and this big nasty sucker. I don't know what it's called, but it's about 2 sections of my pinky.
Oh.
The last 2 sections of my pinky there for the people on the video, and it's dark red and fuzzy.
Oh, velvet ant.
It's a hornet, a type of hornet.
Oh man.
It's a nasty sucker, and I had to kill a nest of those things.
Oh my gosh!
They were on the bottom of my old grill a couple of months ago. So that was a lot of fun. That was terrifying just because they were so big. But overall, I'm not really scared of wasps. I had to get really close to lift off the cover on the grill, and that was the scary part. Once I had the cover off, it's like, fine, all right, let me just spray you guys. But, yeah, spiders. Just can't stand spiders. All right, so now that we've grossed everyone out and wasted the last 15 minutes here.
There's insects everywhere, and they're coming to get you.
Yeah, they are. It's true.
All right, guys.
All right, play the outro.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Take care.
You guys.
See ya.
Wanna start a business, but you just know how to code. Listen to John, Josh, and Derick as we figure it out. We are the EntreProgrammers, and we'll teach you straight up to be developers.